Hello and welcome to another episode of Big Kid. You might have noticed we were gone last week. Listen, you've been getting this a lot this season. I fully intended to record an episode, but I was in another country. Nay, another hemisphere. I was in Brazil last week because my travel has been out of control this week. But that means we got a very special episode. I'd never been to South America before. I'd never been to the Southern Hemisphere before. So I'm going to do a little bit of show and tell about what I learned. And I could talk to all of you. I love doing that. But I also love when there's someone to talk back and make joke them up. So welcome back. Empty chair, Matt Elfring. Oh, boy.
Don't want to get sued for copyright.
You're still alive.
No, don't want to get sued for copyright.
No, I said you're still alive. I Weird Al'd it. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. We both Weird Al'd it in our own ways. Hi, Chris.
That's right. You Weird Al'd it by saying the words of the song and then going like, I don't want to get sued.
Yeah, perfect.
That's what we call the Weird Al way in this house. Welcome back, Matt.
It's been so long since we talked. I think we texted each other last night.
And every other day.
And
we sent Snapchats to each other.
We did.
And I Snapchat with your son. Audio. I don't know if you've ever seen the Snapchats I send to your child.
They go to my wife's phone, by the way.
Yes, I know. Well, I know because they come from your wife's Snapchat account.
Yeah.
It just says her name. And then I open it and it's your kid using wacky filters. And then I reply to him just using the same filter. That's our relationship. That's how I'm on the level.
Yeah.
And look, I do this because I want him to think I'm cool.
He does think you're cool.
It's working.
He likes you a lot and he wants to like video call you all the time. I'm just like, dude, can we just get off the phones?
I like when I get video calls. It's fun because I'm far away. But Matt, I was way farther away a week ago. I went to friggin' Sao Paulo, Brazil we know it as CCXP.
We certainly do.
I came to learn that stands for Comic Con Experience. Now,
extreme.
Here's what I will say. It was a Comic Con experience, boy. So
wait, where's the last C come from? You said CCXC, right? Or
CCXP experience.
That's a hyphenated word. That doesn't work. It's X
not
hyphenate period.
It's not. That's not a word.
Perience isn't a word. Think about
the letter X. Is the letter X a word?
I mean, it's a letter, so it could stand on its own.
It's the first half of X-ray, which is a hyphenated word. So
yeah, but also the letter X could stand for a singular word. Like, I looked at the letter B the other day and you would just write B. You know what I'm saying?
Or like how when I'm assuming 12-year-olds text each other, like, I think you, letter U, are the coolest, KEWLEST.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's all slang, but I'm talking about non-slang. Like, perience isn't a word by any sense of the imagination.
That's true.
Like, let me think about the perience of this. Like, that doesn't work.
Let's be responsible journalists. I'm going to look this up while we're talking in case I'm just wrong. And it's not.
I mean, you're the
originally called Comic-Con Experience. It is now primarily branded as CCXP. So yeah, it's Comic-Con Experience. It's been going on since 2014. In 2014,
I was gonna say they dropped 100,000
people.
They drop all the huge news there now, which is super weird.
From what I understand, it's roughly twice as big person-wise as San Diego Comic-Con. There was lots of really cool stuff happening there. I got to do some really cool stuff. Also, I've never experienced such a large language barrier.
Because it's Portuguese and
it's Portuguese. It's not Spanish. It's Portuguese.
Portuguese is, I have friends that live in Brazil and I've tried to they speak English, but I've tried, I'm like, okay, maybe if I speak a little Spanish, which is completely naive and ignorant, they'll be able to pick up on some of it because there are Spanish speaking people in Portuguese speaking language or countries, but it's more French than Spanish, which is weird.
Someone told me when I was there, because I did not attempt to speak Spanish because I took Spanish in high school and I grew up in California. I can order like a bad mamma jamma in Spanish.
Oh yeah,
like food. That's about it. However, I was told there by somebody in passing that they find it more offensive when people try to speak Spanish to them than when people just speak English to them.
Yeah, I learned the hard way.
And I learned this easy on day one, Matt, for two reasons. First, I'm going to tell a secret here. My driver from the airport, he asked that I not reveal this. He spoke English, but he didn't want anyone but me to know he spoke English.
You've broken that trust.
Because then everyone would talk to him. You don't know anything about him or his name or what kind of car he drives.
You've broken that trust with the driver by announcing it here on the YouTubes and on your podcast.
Nobody listens to this show, so it's fine. But he was very cool and gave me the lowdown on like the best way to order an Uber. So I am a confirmed Uber comfort writer for life. It is my favorite. I get to tell them, make it cold, please. I get to tell them, please don't talk to me. When I'm in an Uber, especially like usually when I'm in an Uber, I'm going to or from an airport or a hotel. I want it to be quiet. I want it to be cold, and I want to try to sleep because also I fly at weird times of day. So I'm usually exhausted when I get into an Uber. Now, so he said, Uber comfort is a joke down here. People won't turn on their air conditioners because it'll save them a couple of bucks of gas. You have to get Uber Black, the top level Uber. And not only that, it's so much cheaper there than it is here because I learned things that originate in Brazil, things that are made in Brazil or like local workers, cheap. Things that they import from other countries, expensive.
Yeah.
So like food, cheap. Stuff for sale at the convention, not cheap.
No, it's a convention.
Yeah, but like, so Matt, this is a weird convention. This convention didn't have a vendors area.
Wait.
There was an artist alley, a smaller artist alley, which was really, really cool. I bought a couple of things from there, from like local artists. And then all the other booths were companies and brands. Like the Warner Brothers the Warner Brothers Digital or the Warner Brothers Discovery, thank you, booth, took up a third of the floor. And it was everything Warner Brothers, including games, including their shows on other networks, including their movies, including Max. It was all one big thing.
And David Zaslav standing all over it with everyone flipping him off.
Well, there was a photo op where you could sit in David Zaslav's throne and send things to Tubi.
Which is the Game of Thrones throne.
Yeah. I didn't want to wait in line for it. But Matt, you know what I did do? And this is where I'm going to start bringing up the visual aids because, bro, we got visual aids.
I'm going to watch a slideshow with Chris. Yeah.
All right. So you might recognize that Fallout logo from the video game Fallout. But what you don't know is that it's also the logo for the major television series coming to Prime Video, Fallout, which is what I was primarily there covering. Thanks to Amazon Prime.
You're looking good. Because I haven't seen you in person since February. You're looking good, man.
Thank you. Nikki said, when I sent this photo to Nikki was like, you look so small. And I was like, I don't agree with that, but I thank you for it.
No, you look good. You look more confident. And you always look good and confident in pictures. You look good and confident here after traveling to Brazil. That's hard to do.
Dude, it was not easy. The flight, it was a very, very long flight. So I was there. Amazon Prime Video brought me to Brazil to cover Fallout for GameSpot, TV Guide, and Fandom. You could see coverage on GameSpot, and there's more coming. I got to talk to Jonathan Nolan. I got to talk to the girl who died in season 1 of Yellow Jackets, the kind of evil one who. Do you watch Yellow Jackets?
Yeah, hell yeah, I do. I like good TV.
So you know the girl who froze to death.
Yeah.
So she is
the best friend of one of the main characters.
Yes, she is one of the. Her name in the real world is Ella Purnell, and she is the vault dweller in Fallout. Walton Goggins is the ghoul, and then we have another young man whose name I don't recall because he was on things that I haven't watched. I don't believe.
You're talking about Walter Goggins from Sons of Anarchy, correct?
I'm talking about Well, no, Matt. I'm talking about Walton Goggins from Sons of Anarchy.
Okay, sorry, I'm bad with names sometimes.
He's also in like Justified and just
Justified.
a bunch of other things. But if I go to the Fallout TV series, the third gentleman I am trying to remember is, why isn't he closer to the top of the list?
Oh, wow.
Oh, he is. His name just wasn't linked because he doesn't have enough credits yet on Wikipedia. Aaron Moten plays the role of Maximus, who is he's a squire or a newer initiate into the Brotherhood of Steel.
Ooh. I don't want you to, is there an embargo for all this? I don't want us to get too deep.
No. This is all good. And I'm not going to go much deeper into Fallout because you can find all of that stuff over at GameSpot. I talked to Walton and Jonathan and Ella and Aaron and the writer, and that's it, about their characters, about how they're different from the game, about like what the Fallout game looks like. I got to talk to Jonathan Nolan and Walton a bit about bringing to live action this idea of an America where the era of American exceptionalism never ended, through the end of the world. So that's really fun because I feel like that's a piece of Fallout that like is integral to what Fallout is, but I also feel like people don't talk about it enough. Like it was a very different world when it ended than the world we live in.
It's 1,000,000% 1950s. Like but that's the feeling of that show, or that game.
So what you can't see is behind the vault door of this Fallout experience is you go through essentially a vault class on Life in the Vault, and it helps you pick your strengths and your weaknesses and whatnot, and you get assigned to a vault. And it was really cool. But Matt, it wasn't the most perplexing thing I saw on the floor. There were a couple of things go ahead.
Let's stop 1 second.
Yes.
I don't want you to answer positively or negatively to this, or be an embargo breaker. Have you seen any episodes?
No.
Okay.
There are no episodes. The show's not out until April. We got the trailer during the convention, and that is out wide now.
Still haven't watched it.
It's really good.
I know, but I want to go in not completely dark because I've played all the Fallout games except for the online one, but I want to like be on the ride and not know what's coming at all.
I don't think the trailer would spoil that for you because at the end of it, there's so much of like, what is happening? But it all makes sense in the world of Fallout. So, whatever. But Matt, there were like the Fallout booth and the Warner Bros. Booth were cool, but like, look at this. This is a Cup of Noodles booth at the con, and connected to it is a Cup of Noodles restaurant at the convention because Cup of Noodles is a presenting sponsor. Now, here's what I'll tell everybody listening to this podcast. We love the audio side of the pod. There's a lot of pictures coming through here. So if you want to see what we're looking at, just jump over to youtube.com/bigkidpod and you can check out the video of the episode complete with the images that I brought home from Brazil, including Matt. This looks like a quaint little Japanese village almost, but it's Cup of Noodles branded. I've always said, can I say this? I've always said Cup of Noodles. It's not called Cup of Noodles. It's just called Cup Noodles.
I'm not the biggest Cup Noodles fan. I think there's a lot better choices for noodles and ramen. However, Cup Noodles curry is fantastic.
And they had Cup Noodles curry there. And Matt, they also at the restaurant, I'm pretty sure they were adding proteins to the Cup Noodles.
Oh, I'd probably, I'd try it. I mean, I'd be down for that. That sounds like a great experience. Also, here's a weird thing that most people don't know about conventions that's conveyed in this picture. Again, go to YouTube if you can't see this.
Yeah.
When you sign up to be at a convention, you are giving away your right to have your picture taken or be in a picture at that convention for it to be widely used. So I see so many pictures of people here. You just appear on the internet, and one guy kind of looks like Greg Pak, a phenomenal comic book writer. And I keep looking over at him, the guy with the beard, vaguely like him.
The guy all the way to the
left. Yeah. Like a younger Greg Pak.
Yeah.
And it makes me very happy because I think Greg Pak is a wonderful person. I know it's not him, but it just reminds me of how great he is.
Now, Matt, the downside of this convention is, like I told you, it's twice as many people as San Diego Comic-Con.
It doesn't look
That
like it from
means
this picture.
no. I was in early in the day, and this
Oh,
was
okay.
near the front, so people had moved their way back. But like, at a certain point, I tried to get a burger for lunch. The line to get a burger, I asked them when I got up to the front. After I waited in line, I got up to the front, and they said it's going to be a 40-minute wait from here.
What?
So I left, and I
Yeah.
instead went and found a place with no line and had the worst Chinese food I've ever had in my life, Matt. This place was made to look like Panda Express on the outside, and they served things like orange chicken, which made me think, oh, this will be good. The plus side of this,
I mean, it looks bad.
the chicken was not breaded at all, which is great because it was like, I like bread fills me up quickly. And it's, at least I can convince myself, well, maybe it's not the most unhealthy thing because it's not breaded. It's not battered.
It's possible. It looks fried though still.
It was disgusting. The chicken was so dry that like it was like chewing chunks of rock that were coated in a quote unquote sauce and sprinkled with sesame seeds. The fried rice, you can tell by looking at it in this picture, had zero taste whatsoever.
There's no soy. It looks like there's no God, what's the other thing that's really good to use on fried rice? It's a thicker brown liquid. You
like a teriyaki?
Not teriyaki.
No,
God,
I know what you're talking about.
I have some in the other room because we make fried rice all the time.
What I will say though,
oyster
Matt,
sauce. Oyster sauce.
Thank you. There were no packets for soy sauce or anything here. So what you see is what you get, and they give you a fork.
Brazil, a country I would say known for flavorful food.
I'm glad you said that, Matt.
Yeah.
Can I show you the best single dish I ate the entire time I was in Brazil?
Here's the thing. I'm going to play dumb and say, yeah, send it to me. You sent it to me while you were there, but please go ahead. I'm pretty sure you did. Yep, you sent this to me.
This is a house-made potato gnocchi carbonara with a fried egg on top and citrus breadcrumbs on the side. Matt, would you believe this? I could not finish this. There were lots of big chunks of bacon in there. The egg, the breadcrumbs, a surprise because they're like soaked before they're dried out. They're soaked in like, I think like a lemon.
But you're adding another texture to what looks like a very kind of not watery, but liquidy.
It's a softer meal. It's a softer meal. And these added both a citrus tang and also a nice crunch to it. Matt, if you went to, and this is not a chain restaurant I went to. What?
Go ahead. I'm spoiling it.
If you went to an American restaurant, like a locally owned place where you go to get good quality food, like say a place like in downtown Chicago, how much would you expect to pay for this?
Well, I'd go to downtown St. Charles or Geneva because they are expensive restaurants, but also delicious.
Oh, okay.
I know how much this costs. We talked about it, but I believe I said like, well, you're in Brazil. Most likely the food's going to be a little bit cheaper, but then you mentioned it was high end. And I think I said $16, but I was off.
How much did I tell you it cost, Matt?
I believe you told me USD, it was 21.
It was 21 with a drink.
Okay. It was 21 with the drink. I got good memory for our conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. I was genuinely blown away.
But it was worth it.
It was so worth it. So worth it. What else can I tell you about Brazil, Matt? I went to a churrascaria.
What's that?
Do you know what I'm talking about? The Brazilian steakhouse. We went to steakhouse on night one. That was delicious. We went to this is the elevator in the hotel. It said it was made to hold 8 people. I don't know. This is a very that's
2 people.
We got 4 in there, and I was like, if another person gets on, I'm getting off. Yeah. And thankfully nobody else got on because 8 people are expected to be here. Look, you can even see it up here. If you zoom in, that's an 8-person situation.
Maybe like 8 children.
Also, reception is on floor 0. That's you enter the hotel on the 0th floor.
Ground level is 0 floor. I can accept that.
I kind of like it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else did I get going on? Oh, Starbucks has menus in English, like paper menus.
Okay.
Which I'd never seen before. I thought that was cool. And they don't like smoking in South America, and I respect it.
That's a lot like, because I was up in Toronto a few weeks back for my aunt passed away, and I was visiting the family to make sure everybody was post-funeral, like doing well, making sure I was the shoulder they could lean on. Canadian cigarettes show you packages of lungs with cancer in them.
So yes, I learned that this is what they do in Australia too. They just put pictures of cancerous lungs and throats and stuff on the packaging.
Yeah.
It's a little classier in Brazil. For those of you who can't see it, it's their regular cigarette cartons, but they're marked with things like smokers die younger, smoking kills, smoking seriously harms you and others around you. And my personal favorite, smoking can damage the sperm and decreases fertility. Like they are just putting it right out there. Like, you're an idiot if you buy these. But Matt, if you look at the prices, you know how much smokes cost in America.
Yeah, they're
this is in reals. So basically,
2 cartons for $54. What's USD?
I think it's one carton for 54 real.
But it says 2 cartons on the package, which is for 20 packs.
So then it's 2 cartons for 54 real, which equals, Matt, like $11.
$2.55 a pack. And I think packs right now, not that I know, because it's been a rough year. I keep winking at the camera.
This is weird. Oh, 3 cartons,
76
for some reason, are set. But like, this isn't. These are US prices.
It's okay. I saw USD. So
I see the comma between the number and the cents, and that's the thing that they do on the real down there. So I assumed it was all in reals. But still, $54 for 2 cartons of cigarettes seems like a deal. How much is a carton of cigarettes right now?
I don't know. I don't buy cartons if I still smoked. Wink. A pack of cigarettes, I think, is around, if I smoked, it would be a specialty brand. Wink. About $8.
So more than $2.55.
Pretty much like 4 times the price.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
But I wouldn't take those because if I still smoked, Wink, I don't like Marlboro. I wouldn't like Marlboro.
I know. I'm looking for a sort of breakdown of like, okay, I can get a carton of cigarettes delivered to me right now for $103.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
And that is specifically a carton of Marlboro Reds I looked up. $54. That's crazy
for 2 cartons.
Oh my God, that's right. It's 2 cartons. Wow.
I used to be at like before I quit smoking for that year. I used to be a carton smoker, and I smoked a lot. I mean, I was smoking half a pack.
You smoked a lot.
But you saw me at Comic-Con, and like I was just so stressed, and that's how I relieved myself. Like, calm down.
I mean, you've seen me at Comic-Con. I either calm down with a drink or with a joint.
Yeah, and I don't drink that heavily, and I don't smoke weed really. If I was still smoking, Wink, 3 a day, 4 a day. Wink.
Because you would never.
But I used to be a carton smoker, and even when I was smoking back then that much, it was like $80 for a carton of Camels.
Wink. That's like, remember the day, like, you know what's interesting? I've been thinking about this a lot because I grew up with a father who smoked a lot and a grandmother who smoked. Dad smoked Camels, grandma smoked Marlboros. She mostly smoked soft pack. Dad was a hard pack man. No, I think Dad was a soft pack man. But like, this was in the era of Camel Cash and Marlboro Miles.
Oh, I remember. That's how
so
they
like
that's how they
dude, I still have the Marlboro Miles camping coffee mugs from my grandmother's house in my cupboard right now. They are my favorite coffee mugs on the planet. I have a billion coffee mugs, but I cannot get rid of these because they're my favorite. They're just
don't get rid of those. I mean, that's like that reminds you of family.
Yeah, I also want the entire Joe Camel merchandise collection.
Oh, that was a weird thing.
Bro, I used to have a Joe Camel shirt for real. When I was a kid and my dad was big into was big into smoking Camels, my mom was into Camel Cash. They definitely got me Joe Camel stuff because I definitely thought he was cool. I didn't, but I didn't want to smoke. I never wanted to smoke. I wanted to hang out with a bunch of man camels and play billiards and rock music.
But see, I started smoking at like 16 because I wanted people to like me, which is the worst reason to do anything.
Oh, I never cared. I was content being a weird little depressed boy. So I didn't care so much about making people like me. Matt, I don't think I've really talked much about my high school experience on here.
No,
I had two distinct groups of friends. I had my school friends and my home friends because right before I entered high school, they redrew the district lines. And so I got sent to a different high school than all of my friends in the neighborhood. So I had friends from school, but then when I came home, I had the neighborhood gang.
That's nice.
And they were all older than me and bullies, but I love them.
There were at my high school, they
smoked. They smoked.
Yeah.
I did not smoke. I will say to this day, I have never had a cigarette in my life.
Don't. It's awful.
I have no interest. I've had the occasion to have some cigars. I used to enjoy a cigar specifically when playing cards in Vegas.
Yeah.
I enjoy a cigar bar once in a great while. Like at this point, I don't think I've had a cigar since Mike Rougeau's bachelor party, probably. Okay. But Nikki and I were recently just talking about like we should go to a cigar. There's a cigar coffee lounge in Tampa in the Cuban district. And I'm like, yeah, we should definitely go have cigars and coffee.
That sounds good.
In like Cuban cigars and coffee. Like, why wouldn't we do that?
You see, I never got into cigars. I mean, the only time I ever had a cigar was like in high school rolling blunts because you get the Swisher Sweets, you know.
Oh yeah. I've never done that. Always wanted to, never done that.
I haven't done that since I think like a little post high school, but blunts were great.
I should talk to you about my new thing. we won't talk about it here because we're too busy talking about Brazil. Matt, I say we move on to the main event. The reason you're here, the reason I needed to talk to you, and something I've already talked to you about.
Yes.
I didn't just partake in local Brazil because Matt, I did partake in local Brazil. I went to a toy store. I found a toy store while I was walking around near my hotel, and I went inside, and it was terrible. Like it was a good toy store if you're not an adult looking for collectible toys. If you're a parent looking for Marvel action figures for your child, this place was great. However, I went in, I walked around, I looked at stuff, and then someone came up to me to see if I needed help and just started speaking very, very deep Portuguese. And I was like, this is me. This is an impression of me at least 20 times throughout my stay in Brazil. English, like feeling bad at like being like, I don't know the words to say other than English. And Nikki was like, well, why didn't you download a translation app onto your phone? And I was like, because I didn't think of that until you said it right now after the trip. But thanks.
But like,
even though I saw like literally people I talked to, like employees I talked to at places would use the apps to translate for me. It still didn't dawn on me that I could also download this on my phone.
I mean, to me, if you're going to a foreign country where you don't have any understanding of English, or sorry, I don't have any understanding of English, apparently, any understanding of the local language, for me, I would learn hi, sorry, please, and I only speak English. Those are like the 4 phrases.
For me, I hadn't traveled internationally since before COVID, and thus I forgot about everything you're supposed to do when you're traveling to somewhere that does not speak English. Except I did remember to bring a power converter so I could plug my stuff in.
Oh, they use the European model of electricity.
They sure do, Matt. They sure do. And thankfully, Nikki had one too, so I bought 2 and I plugged everything in.
Nice.
Okay, but now to the main event. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I've never been to a foreign country where there were enough differences. I went to Brazilian McDonald's.
This is something you and I have talked about personally. Like, I have an obsession with
Yeah.
how fast food companies operate in other countries and what they have to specifically offer that is not American, which I first fell in love with when I went to Hawaii. And for breakfast, they had Spam, eggs, and rice. And I was like, yes. And this isn't even a foreign country. This is America. But
yeah, this is just, well, I mean, there are McDonald's items like in the United States that are only available like in very specific places, like the
yeah, but I
McLaughlin.
love the idea of like local flavor being integrated into fast food, even though fast
And,
food is garbage.
and bro, they did it kind of. I'm gonna start with the thing that's the same everywhere, and that's the drinks.
Okay.
They have they have their suite of Coca-Cola products. They have some Fantas because Fanta's a really big deal in South America. But Matt, it only comes in one size. There's only one size of drink in all of McDonald's, and it's the small.
Okay.
It's the smallest one. I thought it was strange. It's 50 milliliters less than a can of soda.
Really?
Yes, it's 300 milliliters versus 350 in a can. I got Sprite Zero. They do not have Diet Coke. Also, I don't drink a lot of soda, and I definitely don't drink sugar soda because
Yeah.
I like sugar weirds me out. I had a can of Coca-Cola while I was there, and then I felt jittery in a not great way. So, but I got this, and I'll tell you what, Matt, this okay, basically for those who aren't watching, this is a very small cup of soda. It comes with a paper top. There are no straws. It just comes
Good
with a
for
paper top
them.
with a hole punched in the top of it. And guess what, Matt? This is the right size soda for a meal.
I drink canned soda once a day. I don't finish it. I will get 3/4 of the way through and be like, that's enough.
So I am a drink boy. I am not, like I literally you can see I have a giant cup of iced tea at my desk right now. But
I've
this
got
will
2
also
bottles of water.
yeah. Oh, I've also got 2 bottles of water in various states of being drunk. But this is like the water is for like I have to keep hydrated with water, and this tea will last me probably. I won't even finish it all today. It'll go back in the fridge and I'll finish it tomorrow. But like I can't, and but like the thing that's always frustrated me is like I like drinking large amounts of things. I like
Yeah.
taking big swigs of water, like a huge gulp of iced tea. What I discovered was when they handed me this, I was like, oh, how am I gonna
Make it
what if I get
last.
thirsty? How am I gonna make it last? And it solves the problem for you. You take a bite, you have a tiny drink. That's it. And that's all you need. I didn't
Yeah.
need more. You know what, Matt? I didn't finish this. I threw this away because I was like, oh, I'm done with soda. Half of it's left. Why did I ever buy a large drink ever?
Chris,
I won't again.
my wife, it's our anniversary today.
Happy anniversary, wife.
Thank you. I'll tell her later.
Wife.
Wife Elfring. We've been together for 25 years, married for 9.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, that's a long story in itself. But she got me McDonald's breakfast this morning because my son wanted it, and she
What'd you
got
get?
me. Well, she bought me a sausage biscuit, which is just childhood to me. A hash brown, which I put onto the sausage biscuit, and then she got me a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle. I kind of bounce between a few things there. That's a lot of food, but that kind of
I
keeps
will
me
tell you
going.
that is not my McDonald's breakfast order, but I respect it.
However, she got me a medium drink, and it
Uh-huh.
felt like 30 ounces. And I drank half of it, and I was like, I feel like I've gotten too much sugar, and I poured the rest out. It was
Yeah, dude,
way too much. Way
that
too much.
happens to me now. Like if I get it also happens if like we order coffee. Like I know you don't have this up there, but we have Wawa down here, and Wawa is a really great convenience store that also has a coffee shop and a sandwich shop and a little restaurant and all this other stuff. But they make it like in a pinch when like either it's too late and Starbucks isn't open, but I really want a cup of coffee, like I really want to like a good like a fun cup of coffee, or if the wait time to get Starbucks is too long because those you've been to a Starbucks before, Matt. Those lines in the drive-through back up like crazy.
Yeah, I like making iced coffee at home. I don't really go to those.
I tend to make my own coffee at home, but sometimes like we don't have a proper espresso machine, so I can't make a proper latte, and that's what I want. Um, so I'll order from Wawa. I forgot how I got on this topic at all. Oh, I don't like. I normally at this point I don't even really finish my coffees because it gets cold. I'm like, well, I'm done.
That's why I start cold now. I start cold. Bam.
I'm also not against reheating my coffee, which I do quite often. But yeah,
But look
I
at this tiny
basically
cup.
look at this tiny cup. It's the right amount. They
Yeah.
know things that we don't know, and they are teaching us a lesson.
It's because America has to get rid of all the high fructose corn syrup that the government pays farmers to grow. And how do you do that? You sell pop to people.
You
Again,
sell gigantic soda.
I'm from Chicagoland. We say pop. That's just how it is. It's fine.
Well, that's nice. That's great.
I like regional dialects in America.
Same. Let me hold on. I feel like an idiot because I did not. I need to make sure I remember the names of things because I am about to get into the sandwiches. Basically, Matt, I ordered 4 sandwiches. They gave me 3 of them, and I took a bite of each.
Okay, you really YouTubed this up. Like you were like doing the I'm going to eat McDonald's in Brazil, and then you took a bite of each one.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am a fan of a little thing called the Try Guys. And in the Try Guys, they have this thing where they eat the menu, where they go to a restaurant and they basically taste every single thing on the menu.
You say they. What you mean is Keith eats everything.
I do mean Keith, but he has guests with him.
Yeah, guests that bring cookies and guests that he's married to.
And Zach.
Yeah.
How dare you? The Cheesecake Factory 3 part was
exhausting.
An exhausting revelation. They're gonna eat the venue at Disneyland before the end of the year. Very excited about that.
See, I watch Mikey Chen, Strictly Dumpling or Simply Dumpling. I don't know. He travels the world, and one of the things he does is he'll go to like local McDonald's or Burger King in like Japan or Vietnam or the Philippines or Thailand, and he'll eat the things they only have there. Same thing with India. The India one was good too.
Well, I'll say this, Matt. Have you seen, I believe that guy is on a dumpling mukbang episode of a Try Guys video where they eat a crazy amount of dumplings.
Oh man, I have not seen that.
Yeah, I think he wins by a long shot.
Yeah, he does mukbangs quite a bit.
Okay, so we have the McCrispy chicken, Matt. I didn't get the McCrispy chicken. I got the McCrispy, again, because of our mutual love for pro wrestling, I decided to get the McCrispy Chicken Elite. This is literally its name. It's called the McCrispy Chicken Elite.
Okay.
It is the McCrispy chicken patty, and it's great. However, it has all the fixins, including bacon, cheese, and hot honey.
All right, that sounds good.
Something McDonald's in America has not done. And have you had hot? Do you know hot honey?
Yeah, it's great.
It's so good. I'd never heard of it until I moved to Florida. It's so good. It's legitimately delicious. And guess what? This is the best fast food chicken sandwich I've ever had. Really? Not just at McDonald's. It's incredible. The chicken felt much fresher fried. It was crispier. It didn't feel like it'd been sitting under a lamp. The bacon was well cooked. It had the McDonald's American cheese. It had the shredded lettuce, which I enjoy. I got no tomato, no pickle. That's not my jam. But the hot honey makes it so incredibly good. I also took a disgusting inside photo where you could see all the stuff mingling together. Do you see these crispy bits up here at the top, Matt?
Yeah.
Fried onions.
Dude, so here's the thing that like confuses me. I know you don't like pickles. I wouldn't get the onions, but to me, pickle and fried chicken is the perfect combination because you're getting like that vinegary sour along with.
I understand.
Yeah.
Everybody loves pickles with their fried chicken. I've just never been. For me, it's a pickle texture thing. I can't hang with any texture of pickle. I do love onions. These are like the little fried onions where it's more fried than onion.
I like fried onions. Just a really raw ones are not my thing.
Yeah, it adds an extra little crunch to it, and honestly, it's just delicious.
Very nice.
I would 10 out of 10 recommend the McCrispy Chicken Elite sandwich. I want it again. Like, honest to God, if McDonald's, if you're listening, and you know I love you, I already have a McNugget buddy.
Look at you.
We got the McNugget Buddy Happy Meals 2 days ago on the first day the McNugget Buddies were available. And this is, I forget her name, but she's very cool. And also, she's a chicken nugget.
I mean, that it's just like our childhood when they put those toys out.
Yeah. Except there's now a special gold one that's like limited edition that only shows up sometimes in packages.
It's rare. Buy all.
Yeah, it's
so
yeah,
rare.
So
blind box. It's blind box buying.
So yeah, this is the McChicken Elite. It friggin' ruled and set me up for what would be a pretty dope trip to McDonald's. Next up was this fancy. Hold on, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, click the checks. Click those checks.
I'm screwing up. Next up was this fancy black box. I've never seen a black box at McDonald's.
It's the black hole of burgers. It'll suck your soul and leave you dead inside.
Yes. Inside of, I mean, you're not wrong. Inside of it was this humble looking sandwich. I know what you're thinking, Chris. This just looks like a cheeseburger.
It looks bad. I'm going to throw it out there. It looks bad.
It does look bad. The thing you have to recognize about Brazilian McDonald's, not Australian McDonald's.
Not Australian.
It is the beef must be sourced differently. It's a different beef. It's not wet like McDonald's beef. It's a bit drier. It also doesn't have the McDonald's seasoning on it. So it doesn't taste like McDonald's beef. It just kind of tastes like mid-grade, like lower mid-grade beef.
McDonald's seasoning on their burgers is awful because it's just salt and a lot of pepper.
And it's not, and it's just it just makes everything taste like McDonald's and not a hamburger.
Exactly.
This tasted like a hamburger, but like a sort of the meat quality wise, it's sort of a middle of the road hamburger, Matt. The key is what's inside. This is the Bravo Melt Crispy.
Those are words.
Yes. Inside the Bravo, obviously you see, first of all, it is a bigger burger patty than we normally get at McDonald's. Much bigger. Similar bun. I don't know. I'm assuming the bun is sourced differently, but it's a similar bun to this. Specifically was more similar to, I would say, the bigger burgers that don't have sesame seed buns.
Yeah.
And don't have split top buns. It comes with a piece of cheese, again, fried onions. That's the crispy part. But you see this sort of sauce going on in here. That is the Bravo sauce. It is a sort of a flavorful, cheesy sauce that they put on the top and the bottom to make it crispy. Now, what the Bravo sauce does is it makes up for any dryness in the burger whatsoever.
What's the taste? Because to me, just by looking at it, it tastes
looks like nacho cheese.
Yeah, it looks like La Profunda's like canned bad nacho cheese.
It's got more of a queso vibe to it. It's got a little spice to it. The texture is better than the canned nacho cheese, I would say. It's not amazing high quality gourmet cheese product, of course.
You're not, but like you shouldn't expect that from McDonald's.
It's McDonald's. But like I was glad that was there because when I saw the burger, I was like, this looks dry, and this totally wiped out any fear of that. I would love to try this with a McDonald's American piece of beef to see how I feel about it versus this one. I enjoyed this. Again, I think I had 2 bites. I made sure both bites. No, I had 3 bites because Matt, if you see over to one side where there's no sauce coverage on the bottom bun, I took a bite out of the dry side just to make sure that I'm not crazy.
I mean,
the sauce makes it so much better. The crispy onions are a nice crunch in it, and that's friggin' dope. Next up, Matt, is the best item on the menu.
Okay.
It is the simplest item on the menu. It is a thing that America is dumb for not doing. It's what they refer to as the warm cheese sandwich.
Chris,
they don't call it a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm guessing because it's not actually grilled.
Here's the thing, and I just want to point this out. We have almost this exact same thing at a place called Beef Shack, which is down the street from me. All they do is Italian beef. But for kids, they'll do a grilled cheese sandwich, which is hamburger buns flipped over and cheese in the middle. That's all it is.
That's exactly what this is. This is a McDonald's regular ass hamburger bun flipped upside down. And then in between it is 2 slices of McDonald's American cheese. And Matt, it was friggin' delightful
Yeah.
Like the fact that there's 2 slices of cheese makes it so ooey gooey.
Yeah.
It is served warm. It's not grilled technically, but you got a little bit of crispiness on the bun because they do put it on the flat top. It was really good. It was my favorite thing I got there. Also, it's so simple that it blows my mind that I can't get this at literally every McDonald's.
Every McDonald's should have this because they have everything already there.
Yeah, this is a Taco Bell win. If this was Taco Bell would have 19 different versions of this that all taste the same, because what Taco Bell does is they just take the ingredients and mix them up in slightly different ways and slap a $9 price tag on it. This was I think $1.
Okay.
For like a grilled cheese sandwich, and it was great.
It seems reasonable.
Yeah. I did not get fries because McDonald's fries are McDonald's fries. I ordered a 4th sandwich that just wasn't in the bag, and communicating with them was difficult, so I just called it a wash. Also, they had a special Brazilian only, as far as I know, McDonald's dessert, Matt.
Tell me more.
In America, we have the apple pie.
Well, the apple pie is not as good as it used to be. I'm just going to throw it out there.
It's not. But I saw 2 kinds of pies on the menu in Brazil. They had the apple pie, but Matt, they had the banana pie.
Again, you've already shown me this, but I'm going to pretend it's the first time seeing it. Chris, that sounds interesting. Please tell me more.
It looks like an old Hot Pocket.
Uh-huh.
If you're looking at it right now, we got a picture up. It looks like an old Hot Pocket. It comes in its own banana pie. Actually, no. Underneath the pie is, I think, a small image of an apple, so they can just double dip in whatever they're using.
Yeah.
Interesting thing. I was not served a banana pie. I was served a McDonald's apple pie.
Oh, that's
I asked for a banana pie, and when I went back up and I tried to explain banana pie. This is apple banana at the receipt. They might have just been out of the banana pie for all I know. I took a bite of it. It tasted like McDonald's apple pie. Not great, but I was bummed because I was genuinely looking forward to trying the banana pie. Rather,
I'm imagining this right now. It's filled with a yellow, creamy, custardy banana flavor,
like a banana pudding pie.
Yeah,
almost,
that sounds good.
With like little chunks of banana. Like, doesn't that sound amazing?
Let's go to Brazil.
Let's go to Brazil. I'm gonna bring down the we're gonna go back to us being full screen. Here we are. Matt, first of all, any questions about my presentation? Any questions you have about Brazil?
Why didn't you send
any questions if you want to talk about the anxiety attack I had in Brazil? Whatever.
Why didn't you put up in this presentation the first picture you sent to me right when you got off the plane, which was a giant statue of a man on a horse, which I was like, hell yes.
Okay, I actually thought about that, and Matt, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add it. We'll do this. Yeah. First of all, the thing that they don't tell you about Sao Paulo specifically, I can't speak for the rest of Brazil, is it's nowhere near the airport. You fly into Sao Paulo, and then it's like a 2-hour car ride in horrible traffic to get into the city.
So it's kind of like flying into like Dallas, Fort Worth, and then the trip into Dallas with traffic's usually like an hour and a half, but it's like 20 miles or something.
It's much worse. It felt like forever. Truly. It genuinely felt like forever. I was surprised, but also I didn't care. It's fine. Like, I wasn't driving, and it was a nice car that I was being driven around in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I found another picture to send to you as well. Or another picture to show off as well. Hold on, I'm looking for the horseman.
I'm looking forward to the pictures that Chris sends.
You're the horseman. So yeah, okay. I got those images. Let me cue them up right now so I can show them to you and the world. And I actually grabbed one more that's important to me.
Okay.
Because Matt, you know how press events go. There was a
Certainly do.
party/reception. And that party/reception, it included media and for some reason, another photo I wanted to show isn't here. Didn't show up in the slideshow. So I'll add that too.
Okay.
Open. Okay, let me come over here and we'll start here.
Presenting the slideshow.
Well, it's images.
Presenting the images. Here we go.
Boom. Okay, so first of all, this is Selvagem.
Okay.
Which is a restaurant in the middle of a gigantic city park.
All right.
I got picked up at the convention in my Uber to go to this without being told it was in a park. And so I got pulled up at it's like 10 o'clock at night, and I get dropped off at a park with just a bunch of Brazilians around that don't speak English and nobody telling me if there's a restaurant in the park. And I thought, oh, is this where I die? because like when you're going to Brazil, when you're in the airport, there's warnings about literally everything. They're like, don't get into a taxi unless you know for sure it's your taxi.
You also get that in New York City, by the way.
I know, but
yeah, I understand what you're saying.
It was like, I will say, I had friends and Nikki's warning me ahead of time, make sure you're safe, and my mom, make sure you're safe when you're there. You know, like I got convinced not to bring my Apple Watch for some reason, which sucks because then I didn't get credit for all them steps.
Yep.
I walked a lot all over Brazil, the entire country. But this was a fun little party filled with influencers and journalists. You can guess how long I stayed because it was at the end of the day and as an influencer party, not even
half an hour.
Like maybe 45 minutes.
Okay.
I stayed until they were like, the first bus is going back to the hotel. And I was like, yeah, let's party. So that was nice. I had a couple sips of a drink and a really good chicken risotto situation. Mm-hmm. That was nice. This is what you were talking about, Matt.
Yeah.
As I was being driven home or driven to the city from the airport, I just passed this gigantic statue of a man on a horse. Know nothing about it. Don't want to look anything up about it in case like it has a problematic history.
So and many statues tend to have problematic histories.
That they do, and that's not my fault. I didn't do it.
No.
But yeah, that was really cool. And yes, that is the first thing I saw in Brazil that I sent to you.
There's also a bunch of heads behind it too.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but they're creepy.
A little bit.
And then the last thing I want to point out, this is a store called Venom.
We have this in the States.
Do we? I've never seen this before.
It's an MMA thing.
Okay. That makes sense. But the reason I was so taken with it is I walked by this store the morning that they released the M&M skins for Fortnite. So I was singing the Venom song to myself. Venom. And so then I saw this. I was like, oh my God, this is meant to be. So this is Venom. Matt, do you have any other questions about
Brazil
or Sao Paulo or the convention? Do you have any convention questions?
What was CCXP like comparative to San Diego, which I worked almost every year from 2010 until I think 2019 was the last year I went.
The weirdest thing about so look, we've been to San Diego a bunch. We've talked about San Diego a bunch. San Diego, it's the convention is pretty much the entire gas lab. It's everywhere.
It's hell.
Everything at the Sao Paulo convention is in the hall. It's in the convention center. There's far fewer rooms for like panels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 or 4 big rooms. The Thunder Hall is the biggest one. It's their Hall H. It's much cooler than
Thunder Hall.
It's so much cool. Hall H looks like, honestly, community theater compared to the Thunder Hall. And I love community theater, but Hall H looks like bad community theater compared to the Thunder Hall. They could, just work on your production a little bit. You know what other conventions are capable of. They're making you look like a fool. The lack of vendors and places to shop on the floor was frustrating. there's plenty of places to shop, but it was like, go to the Marvel store, go to the Warner Brothers store, go to the NBC store. Mentos. Did you know Mentos are a big deal in Brazil?
I did not.
There was not only a Mentos kiosk in the food court that only sold Mentos, different flavors of Mentos. There was a Mentos experience booth where you could go do a Mentos photo op and other Mentos things. Matt, there was in the middle of this floor.
Chris, let's stop. Okay,
go ahead.
Stop. What is a Mentos experience aside from dunking it into a 2-liter bottle of Diet Coke?
I'll be honest with you, Matt. The line was well over 2 hours long, so I don't know.
What? 2 hours for Mentos?
Yeah.
The fresh maker?
I will say, the Mentos kiosk in the food court, empty. I could have bought so many Mentos, but the person there looked sad.
Why is everybody at the Mentos experience?
The coolest booth was this huge, I don't even know who sponsored it because it was, I think, a Brazilian company. No, I think it was Omelette. Omelette is a big sponsor. Omelette, which is like a video site, I think, is a huge presenting sponsor of CCXP. They have their own stage in the middle of the floor where all the guests come through and people can just stand around and watch. It's very loud and obnoxious. But they also had this huge thing that looked basically like someone built a double dare in the middle of the convention center. There was a huge obstacle course. There was a like a chest high, I'm guessing, maze that you could go through, but you go through it blind. So you go through it with eye covering on and a helmet on, and also I think headphones that are blocking out sound. And it's whoever's the first person to get through the maze wins. They had one that was like a giant human Plinko board that you were sliding down to collect points and stuff. Like, it was real crazy in a real cool way. That's the big thing about CCXP. They have all of the experiential stuff that San Diego has and more, but it's all on the convention floor. It's all built into the booths. The Fallout immersive experience was in the booth. I went to a boys experience, which was 100% in Portuguese. And it was the trial of Homelander. And it was a game show where you're sat on two sides of the room. You're either on Starlight side or Homelander side, and they pick people to answer questions up at the front. And there's and it's set up like a courtroom. The host is a court judge, and to answer the question, you have to take your mallet, you have to hit it like you're ordering in the court. It turns your lights on. You have to answer the question, and you have to chant things. It was really involved. I didn't understand anything that was going on, except I learned my first Portuguese word, assassino, which means assassin, because that's what Homelander is. If you hadn't seen, and I will say, if you had not seen the most recent season of The Boys,
please,
it spoiled a lot of things. So
this makes Comic-Con seem like crap. I mean, like, Comic-Con has experiences. They're all outside of the convention, and they leave you wanting more, but not in a good way. I feel like they're lacking those immersive experiences.
I was not left wanting more out of CCXP.
That's what I'm saying.
I felt fully like, wow, look what we've done here today. And there were so many experiences I did not do. A billion photo ops I did not go near. The only experiences I did in the convention center were Fallout, which I did twice so I could get both endings, because the Fallout experience had two endings. And depending on which ending you got different pins, because pins are a big thing at CCXP. So like, the first time I got a Vault 33 pin, which is the vault of the show. And the second time I went through, I got it. I tried to get the other ending, and I got a pin of, it's a pill jar of banana flavored suicide pills.
Oh,
which was just a dumb thing from the game. And it's very cute. And I got a Nuka-Cola pin. Like, I got so many cool pins, all of which I still need to put on my pin board. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. The experiential stuff, all I felt like hit the nail on the head. I've done a lot of San Diego Comic-Con experiential stuff. It usually feels pretty half-baked. The only one I could think of that felt fully well-rounded was Westworld, where you went in and you did you do the personality test to find out if you're a white hat or a black hat.
They
literally give you I've got two Westworld hats in my house, a white one and a black one. And then they took you to a speakeasy, a themed speakeasy where the hosts were creating drinks for you, like specialty cocktails.
I got so jealous during that era because you guys were doing all the experiential stuff and I was kind of on photo op duty, taking pictures of booths and like doing galleries and then kind of jumping through like interviews. I wasn't on hall duty. That was only my first 2 years ago to Comic-Con and it was hell. But like I'd kind of gravitated towards doing like photo experiences to give people an idea of what Comic-Con is like. But you guys got to do on film, like the actual experience, interactive experiences.
Not a ton. We didn't do a ton.
But usually did
actually the Westworld one I did for the Hollywood Reporter. I did not do that for GameSpot. I wasn't with you guys yet full time.
Oh, that's right. It was just Mike. Mike was our boss at that point.
Yeah. But I hung out with Mike there.
Okay.
He had a video person with him. It might have been Buddy.
It was Ryan. No, it was Buddy. It was Buddy at that time.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just blown away in all the best ways of the quality of the experiences on the floor. I do think they're missing out by not having a vendor section. I think that would be a really fun way to get locals.
You need a samurai sword. You need a samurai sword.
I bought truffles.
Okay.
Like Brazilian truffles. Those were kind of cool. I bought CCXP shirts for Nikki. They gave me a Fallout like soccer jersey.
Experience.
It was a true experience. But I will say it was an experience. The Fallout panel opened with an orchestra playing "I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire," like the Fallout song.
As you,
I know it's
do one of these.
Yeah, I know it's the Ink Spots, but like it's the Fallout song.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder. If you're into Zack Snyder, he was there. He showed all of Rebel Moon Part 1. I don't think I'm allowed to tell you my thoughts on it yet.
Here's my thoughts. Embargo. Here's my thoughts. Not knowing anything about it, I don't care.
I can't talk about Rebel Moon yet. I will when the time comes. But I like. This is the thing that really blows my mind, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
The fans were so much more passionate than SDCC. They were alive for everything that happened.
That's because SDCC, everyone is already dead inside by day 2.
Well, because I feel like Hall H is a bigger hall. I believe it holds more people, but
6,000, I believe.
It could not compare to the passion that people were throwing at Zack Snyder, throwing at Jonathan Nolan, throwing at the idea of a Fallout show. Oh my God, people freaking out for the trailer. And the craziest thing is the majority of the people there don't speak English as a first language. So everything that all the creators are saying is in English and being subtitled on the screen.
Ooh.
And they're still freaking out. Also, CCXP picks way more fun moderators. I say that as a multi-time Comic-Con moderator. CCXP picks personalities to moderate because they're less about the questions and more about throwing to fans, showing footage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Hey, let's sit down in this chair. Let me look at you. What was it like working on this project?
I've never asked that question.
But I have been in numerous panels where that's the opening every time.
Yeah. My goal with a panel, my panel philosophy, when I've moderated, like I've been guests on panels, that's a different thing. It's just the Chris Hayner show, baby. But when I'm moderating, I have 2 things to do. Get out whatever information the studio has that they want out during that panel. Like for instance, when they let me, when I moderated Gotham at San Diego, they let me know, they're like, oh, by the way, you're doing $1 million giveaway at the end of your panel. And I was like, oh, let's talk about how that's going to work. And that turned into a whole cool thing. But that was one task I had. The other task I had from the panelists was to get their names right, because the person who moderated before got everyone's name wrong. But I knew them because I covered the show. And also I know who Ben McKenzie is. So
before you start doing an interview, you talk to the talent. I do this. I have to do this on my podcast on occasion. If I never pronounce their name out loud, as I say, hey, how do you pronounce your name? I want to get it right on the show, or I want to get it right in the panel. That's the professional thing.
there's also that. However, I will note, and I feel like enough time has passed that I can bring this up. Before the panel, Morena Baccarin walked up to me, who played Lee on Gotham. It was like, please tell me you know our names. I was like, yeah, I do. I know the bare minimum. You're right. But so there's that aspect, but then there's also the fan aspect. Ultimately, cons are about fans, and you want to leave room for fan questions, but you also want to ask questions that you know fans want, but those aren't the questions that are going to get asked. So you want to, like, if you're at a San Diego and I'm doing a panel for the new season of Gotham, I'm going to see what little tidbits I can get out about the new season. First of all, you can talk to the people beforehand and be like, hey, are there things you can talk about that I'm good to bring up? B, like, I followed the Gotham fandom well. I know that one thing they very much cared about was Oswald Cobblepot and Penguin together, and they very much cared about Bruce and Selina together. So I made sure to ask questions about those things, and it was a delight. And they had fun little interactions with fans because fans were freaking out about it. So that,
and then I drank with the cast at the Warner Brothers party.
I've definitely done that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, do you have any other questions, Matt?
I don't know. I was pretty excited for you to go to Brazil. It's somewhere I've wanted to go.
I was on the fence about it because I had just gotten back from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
For the Obliterated junket. And I had told myself, this is the last traveling I'm doing for the year. I'm done. And then literally opened up my email to be like, hey, what about Brazil in a week? The week after Thanksgiving. And I was like, I don't know. Should I? And Nikki was like, yeah, duh, you should. Yeah, duh, go. I would do it. And I was like, okay, well, if you're going to put it that way, then sure, I should go do it. And I'm really glad I did. It was a weird experience. But it was so much fun, except for my anxiety attack.
Yeah. That was like me after being laid off from GameSpot, and 2K's like, hey, you want to come to San Antonio? I'm like, hey, I'm in the worst headspace ever, but I can hang out with
Chris is there.
And Matt, I can say goodbye to all of the people that I love, other journalists like Miguel Perez, who was probably at CCXP.
Is it possible that you just want to talk to friends about the new WWE game?
Chris, let me plug some things for you. I just want to talk to friends podcast. It's on my Substack, which is I'm Matt Elfring. It's right here in the video. It's IMMATELFRING. I have a podcast that goes up weekly called I Just Want to Talk to Friends, where I deal with my own trauma and grief and feeling alone by chatting with friends and we tell stories. Let me tell you about a couple upcoming episodes, Chris. Can I tell you about a couple upcoming episodes?
Please do.
There! Look at that! It's on the video. Thank you, Chris.
I know how to do things. Yeah.
Game designer Xalavier Nelson Jr., who I first met when I worked at Meow Wolf for a bit, and him and I talk about his game El Paso Everywhere. I feel like a jerk. Then after that, I've got formerly known as Aiden English, Matt Raywald.
Hey, TNA announcer, right?
He's an announcer for TNA. He does streaming. He still wrestles. He recently wrestled with his old partner, Simon Gotch. Him and I went to college together, and he knew my sister, but I had never met him. But we all went to the same college. After that, I've got the one I'm most excited about, which is you, Chris Hayner, and our mutual friend Serpentico from AEW.
Oh my God, I forgot we recorded that literally this week.
Last week.
Okay.
And we talk about the movie Blank Check for way too long.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good episode. I haven't started editing, but I know it's good. And then after that, I've got Chicago comedian Xavier Lamont, and we talk about his first time doing comedy and how I was the only comedian that was nice to him at his first open mic. So we're doing a lot of great things, and I've got some plans for other episodes, and I'm pretty excited. The show's doing really well somehow.
Is it really?
It's I was surprised. I had an episode.
Can you start promoting my show?
I'm terrible at promotion. I'm just getting I had there's a podcast called Knowledge Fight. I had Jordan Holmes on, one of the co-hosts, and that episode did I think 4 times as many as the first Serpentico episode, where Serpentico talked about a bunch of AEW things and news outlets really picked up on it. So the show's doing well and I'm having fun doing it. I'm not putting out episodes as regularly as I should because I'm, producing another podcast which hasn't come out yet. I get paid to produce a podcast now, which is wild.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'm also freelancing at Ranker right now just to kind of
true.
Keep my byline out there, keep getting paid to write. And I write
guess
on
what,
Substack.
Matt?
Huh.
You'll also be back next week.
Wait, I am?
It's Christmas special time. I'm going to watch for the first time ever The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I forgot we did talk about this. Yeah.
And then you, me, and Nikki are going to chit chat about it. If you don't want to, that's fine.
No, I do.
I mean, it's only my birthday.
That's true. Christmas is your birthday.
But yeah, before we wrap up, I want to talk about the next couple episodes. We are going to do, my goal is for next week's episode to be the Christmas special. I still have to watch Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't want to really, but I will. And then, the week of Christmas, I'll probably be doing some sort of just wrap up of the year. A lot of weird, cool stuff has happened this year, and I'd like a bit of time to reflect. Some not great stuff has happened this year, but also some great stuff has happened this year. And I never talked on this show about, I went to the Sphere for crying out loud.
We talked about that.
Well, you and I talked about it.
Oh yeah.
Sure. But I haven't talked about it on the pod. Like, I went to a U2 concert and the Sphere all at the same time. That's crazy pants. I want to go see. You heard Fish is moving into the Sphere next, right?
I don't care for jam bands too much, but I know you're excited.
Fish is moving into the Sphere for a 4-day stand over 420.
I mean, that makes sense.
Like, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And if you don't know Fish, you could listen to the season 1 episode in which superfan Adam Rosenberg gives me all of the information. He is actually is going to all 4 dates of Fish in the Sphere with his wife, and God bless him.
Good for him.
That just sounds like a really fun time. I also wanted to I have a lot to talk about because I've also done crazy escape rooms. I went to Omega Mart. You hooked me up and I went to Omega Mart.
That's the last thing I got to do from Meow Wolf was get you tickets into Omega
Mart. Get me in somewhere for free. Which, if you haven't read it yet, go over to haterland.substack.com and check out my breakdown of what going to Omega Mart was like. If you don't know, it is the Meow Wolf art installation that doubles as sort of an immersive experience. It's friggin' amazing. And there's a good bar hidden in the pharmacy.
Yes. I wrote a couple press releases for that. A few items they made, and I don't work for Meow Wolf anymore. My contract came to a close, but fantastic company. They do some really crazy, awesome art, and
they really do.
I'm very proud to have kind of been with them for like 6 months. Like, it was an awesome experience.
Heck yeah. But yeah, that about wraps up. God, I also want to just know, for those that are listening, what is it that you want to hear about?
Me playing D&D.
I feel like, well, yeah, I want to do a D&D episode with you. I feel like season 2 of the show has got, like, season 1 was very specific and very honed in. Each week was sort of a different thing. And I feel like podcasts sort of ebb and flow, but I also plan to have 12 episodes done and out by the end of the year. And at this rate, even if I release 2 and like the next 2, I'm still only going to hit 10 for the year. But then we'll wrap up season 2, hopefully in January. At which point I am promising myself I will actually work on getting stuff done ahead of time, because I think that's the biggest hard part. When the season's not on, it's hard to, when I'm in between seasons, it's hard to be like, oh, I need to work on the season. And then I run into problems like this where, like, I was out of town and I did not expect most of the traveling I did this fall and winter.
Yeah.
Or I guess this fall. I guess it's technically not winter yet. So, like, I didn't think we would fall behind on episodes, but we did. And it's fine.
It's hard to keep it, and it's hard to keep up without pod fade happening, but also
it's hard to keep, also, like, when I'm sure you understand this, Matt, because you are a busy individual and also a dad. Like, it's hard to do everything yourself when you're busy all the time.
Yeah.
I would love to have a producer that I could just record and hand this to and then have them upload it. Because honestly,
I'll let you know how much my pay rate is. Yeah, you're thinking about it now.
I will say I've definitely gotten thanks to StreamYard. We do all of our recording through StreamYard now, and it has made the edit so much easier. Matt, I still got your link scrolling down there at the bottom. I hope people go to it.
I do some fun writing on there. Right now I'm writing a piece about
journalists. He really does.
I'm writing a piece about, I wrote like 1,000 words last night in like 20 minutes, but it's a piece about journalists that keep getting fired and what they should do, but and learn from the experience by all the mistakes I made throughout trying to find a job, which it's 11 months in, I still don't have a full-time job. But I've been picking up a lot of contract work where I can, learning how to do different things. I'll probably be a podcast producer for quite a bit because I've been doing this since 2005 and I know how to put a show together, even if it's clearly a show just for me and no one else.
Matt, your next step is you got to get into video because that's the direction podcasts are going to gain eyeballs and ear holes.
I just want to talk to friends will not go video for numerous reasons, but the show I'm working on now, we are talking about video. We're talking about StreamYard, but we already have 6 episodes recorded. And Chris, the next season of your show, however you're doing it, feel free to have me on as much as you want. I've already been on 5 episodes of Big Kid.
I mean, yeah. Matt, you're the person I like podcasting with the most, so I'm going to keep asking you if you want to do stuff.
We've been doing it
unless I have like a specific thing I want to talk to someone about. Like I had meant to have Leslie Goldberg back this season so we could just talk about the Sphere, and then life got busy.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Like if I'm just grabbing people to talk, like you and Nikki are always at the top of the list because you're the people I like talking to the most. So I also keep threatening myself that I'll invite my brother on to talk about school buses because that's the thing he was in love with as a kid, and that's the thing he's in love with now. But we'll see. Anyway, let's wrap. Let's call it there. We've been going for a little.
I'll do the PR thing.
Oh, you're wrapping me up? Wrapping me up. Thank you everybody for listening. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Hit the like button. Hit the little notifications button. Make the bell ding. It'll let you know when new episodes drop. Go over to Apple. Go over to Spotify. Leave some 5-star reviews. Leave several of them. Send me a screenshot of your 5-star review, and I will send you a 4K digital download code for the Disney classic Lightyear, starring Chris Evans
as Buzz Lightyear.
And I'll give you an option. You could have Lightyear or they didn't include Wreck-It Ralph 2. Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Oh no. You can have Lightyear or Ralph Breaks the Internet in 4K, digital code, free to you. You don't have to get Disney Plus to watch it. Yeah, I have a bunch of codes I'm working my way through. Some of them I'm keeping for myself. Some of them I am sharing with the world. And
I think we talked about this last time, but are there any of the live action ones from the 70s or 80s?
No, we did not.
That's what I'm interested in.
Like, give me a title.
Something Wicked This Way Comes. The Black Hole.
No and no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, these are all. This is the animated film collection.
Okay.
So while that isn't there, The Sword in the Stone is here. Planes.
Wait, Black Cauldron?
Fire and Rescue. No. Wait. Yes, Black Cauldron is here.
Hey, can I have that code?
I already used it. Sorry.
Come on.
I didn't own it, so
Okay.
I grabbed it.
Okay.
As you can see, I'm working my way through checking them off as I go. I'm doing this quickly because, well, it doesn't matter. I've already used all these codes. Also, This one, Chicken Little, guess what? It was not for the movie Chicken Little. It was for some definitely not a Disney movie. It is clearly just a typo. But that's
Wait, what was it for?
Hold on one moment and I will tell you.
I know I already did this, but now I'm curious.
Yeah. I don't think you have done this because I don't remember bringing this up the first time.
No, I meant done this as in I did the wrap up symbol.
Oh, Chevalier. Chevalier is the movie you get instead of Chicken Little. Chevalier, inspired by the incredible true story of composer Joseph Bologne, Chevalier de Saint Georges, the illegitimate son of an African slave and a French plantation owner. Bologne, played by Kevin Harrison Jr. in a tour de force performance, rises to improbable heights in French society as a celebrated violinist, composer, and fencer, complete with an ill-fated love affair and a falling out with Marie Antoinette and her court. Also starring Samara Weaving, Ronke Adekunle-Lueho, Martin Kazakis, Alex Fitzallen, and Minnie Driver. Chevalier was a 2022 film released by Searchlight.
Sure.
It has a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. Australian Financial Review critic John McDonald did not like it.
It doesn't sound up my alley one bit.
It also sounds like it's made like the code must just be off by like a digit.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So there's someone out there that didn't get their code for sommelier.
Chevalier.
I'm saying sommelier because I think that's a more fun word.
That's wine. Anyway, yeah. Come back next week for hopefully the Christmas special. Then we'll close out the year. We'll close out strong. Thank you for being here, Matt. You know,
thank you for having me.
Talking to you.
Thank you for changing your schedule.
Yeah, we were going to record yesterday, but my yesterday got weird and your yesterday got weird. I was like, well, let's just do it today. I know the pod's supposed to be out today, but like it'll go out later today. So
I was supposed to be out yesterday.
Yeah, this is coming out today. It's coming out tonight. We'll get it done. That's that. Bye, everybody.